All right, well, welcome to the Hangout today. It's Gabe Strom, and I'm here with, I'll kind of tell you the purpose of today's live stream, but I'm here with Gaye Lisby from Missouri, and we just jumped on for about a half hour trying to get Gaye's video to come through. So we're going to have audio only today, but we're going to make the best out of this. So, Gaye, how you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing great. I have no idea what's going on with this camera. I don't, uh, I don't, I don't get it. But hey, I'm excited about what's happening on Amazon and the selling that we've been doing. It's awesome. I'm just happy. I'm just happy with what's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's what we're going to do. So originally, and I'll do my best. I mean, Gaye, you're really humble, and you've had some amazing success over the years, and your story is incredible. And I'm actually looking forward to hearing your story, how you got started, and then what some of the turning points were. And really, we've had a lot of stuff with Zach on the webinars recently, and how long have you been working with Zach? I know you worked with him many years in different businesses. So when do you guys go back till?
Well, the history with Zach and I goes way, way back to before he and Natalie married, because I knew them as young as teenagers and young adults, and before they even started their family, knew them from church setting, and I was always drawn to him because he was a very solid young man, and he wasn't flipping and flashing around saying he was going to do things and then didn't do them and stuff like that. He just was a real respectable young man.
Yeah.
Always drawn to him. Of course, Natalie's fantastic. So what do you got a great couple there. And a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago, I had a major life change and ended up needing to make some money and needed to make some good money and was not really wanting to go back into the business community or go back to teaching. And so at that time, I was kind of searching around about it. Zach pops up on Facebook. Actually, his mother-in-law posted a deal he was doing on Facebook. I contacted him, we connected, and there was just a real immediate connection for us to work off of each other and play off of each other and make some successes. And so we had some success in internet marketing. And every deal I went into with Zach, I made money. And just kept growing. And then he ended up promoting DS Domination, and we just kind of entered DS Domination as a way just to continue our internet marketing career. And when we broke open the training, we found out really this gold mine and this gold rush that's taking place in FBA selling in Amazon. And so, very quickly he changed gears. I was doing some things like I was negotiating on a house and doing remodeling on a home and all kinds of things going on in that area of my life. And so I was kind of slow trail behind him. But, Zach built ahead of steam very, very quickly. I mean, he just goes fast. And his successes started rolling in. I started kind of stumbling along behind, and just in my spare time, very little time that I had, started making money and realized really that it's just about, for me, it was just about getting over the fear that I was going to list stuff wrong, or I was going to get a shipment in wrong, and I couldn't get over that. But once I just took the leap, I was like, heck, all the other things I did, I probably did wrong to begin with too. This is how I learned.
Yeah.
So I just dived in, started buying and selling. Actually, literally, because I put all my money in the house deal, had no income or no money to start my business with. So I literally started doing thrift storing and book selling and just pennies by pennies, almost dollars by dollars, eBay selling, used stuff, that sort of thing. Rolled every penny over into the business. Rolled it into product, retail, arbitrage. Rolled it until finally, a couple months before Christmas, I was able to wiggle myself into a couple of Zach's deals. I was a little guy in one of his deals, and able to do that. just kept rolling my money over, rolling my money, and then started making 5-figure months. So I'm liking that.
You're okay, so there's going to be so much. I have a feeling that this hangout's going to just be dripping with wisdom from Zach's perspective and your perspective. And so I've got a lot of questions for you. Are you okay? And we probably should have talked about this before the hangout. Are you okay talking specifics about FBA stuff? I don't want to get into too much of the details of your products, but
yeah, I mean, you can ask me anything you want.
We'll see if we get an answer.
Well, I may or may not answer it, but no, I probably will. Go ahead.
Just for people that are joining us, I just want to kind of introduce real quick how this call is going to flow today, because originally we were going to do this for members only as part of our group. So what we've been doing, and for those of you that are part of the FBA partner group, you guys know that we do webinars every single week, and we've been doing an alternating, story and success members from the group, which is what we're doing today, and then a training webinar like we've had with the shoes and the books and David and some different people. So this week we're giving Zach some much needed time to be with his family. Actually, for this week and the next week, we're going to do success stories. So we've got Gaye Lisby, who is showing up as eBay, which is kind of funny, kind of comical.
I have no idea what that's about. I have no idea.
Maybe we got to talk about part of the eBay part, but we jumped on. She's going to be audio only. Gaye's super humble, and she's been following Zach's lead in the home business industry. It sounds like for a couple of years. Got started in FBA just like everybody else in the group, snowballed her money, and so there's a lot of wisdom in your story, Gabe. But just for people, because they love results, what's been you say you started hitting 5-figure months. What's been your best month on Amazon, and what have been some of your sales like the past couple months?
Lisby. Well, let's see. Let me round it up.
Just so we can brag about you a little bit, so people know, you're a voice on the other line, but you're successful. So
yeah, hang on just a second. Let me look up. I'm gonna pull up a couple of numbers here. Hang on.
Okay. Well, Gabe, while you're pulling that up, for those of you that are watching live on YouTube, just like we do all of our Hangouts, we're going to do Q&A. If you guys have questions for Gabe, for our members inside the group. So you guys know how this works. We've done this in the past. Just go into the group and Facebook and post your comments there. I'm not able to see if you want to like this video, or we're publishing this on the blog. We've got a new YouTube channel that we're going to be releasing, but for now, we're just keeping all this content on the blog. And Zach, just to kind of give you guys a little glimpse into Zach's heart. We do these for our members only, and he's like, hey man, let's just share this week with everybody. And there's been a lot of people that are outside of our group that have been kind of on the sidelines watching what's happening. Really, people's lives are changing from what's happening with Amazon and this opportunity for us as resellers. And so today we just wanted to open it up. We thought the more the merrier. Doesn't cost us or hurt us anything. We're already doing this training for our members. So just so you guys know, we've got both those of you that are already members in our group, and then also new people. So we'll take questions inside the group. That way members get first priority. As Gaye has decided to pull up some stats, and Gaye, now you were actually a part of the group before I was. So were you, you've been following Zach, so you've been part of the group from when Zach first started selling last year, right?
Well, here's a cool thing. I got grandfathered in because I just follow Zach around. Basically, this is what I say. You know what? I just track Zach like a hound dog, because wherever he is, there's money. Okay?
Yeah.
Because that just flows. It just flows. And because he is so willing to help people and to advantage others, not only himself. And that is a lifestyle that I can get with.
Yeah.
So I do the same thing. And so when you do that, that just continues to increase and increase. I just looked up, excuse me, and our best month so far is about just under 25,000. So
25,000 in sales, and is that all FBA, or are you doing any kind of merchant fulfillment?
Yeah. Oh, well, that doesn't include any of the eBay stuff.
Okay.
That figures just FBA, and that doesn't include any eBay or we're exploring a couple other selling platforms, and also developing private label products. But just straight FBA selling, that's a pretty good one.
Okay.
that's a pretty good month. I mean, I've been pleased with that.
Was
And
that just out of curiosity? Was that over Christmas, or was that in just a regular
oh,
month
no,
here?
no, no, that was just last month or a month before. Let's see, this is, so no, it would have been April. In
April.
April, and that surprised me because I really thought, that after, in January it kind of slumped just a little bit, and I thought, oh no, I've lost my touch, I'm not getting the right product or whatever. But it's just the selling platform and retail all together. And and then all of a sudden, boom, it starts growing again. And in April, we hit on a product. Basically, I just used some of the techniques that Zach taught in his videos, and
Okay.
sourced product, and just was persistent and consistent.
Hmm.
And so when you start sourcing product, what's right for you as a product may not be right for me as a product,
Yeah.
and might not be something that I want to get behind or that I can even afford to get into, so to speak. It turned out I'd had a nice sales month before, and all of a sudden this product became available, and I was also able to get into more of Zach's deals. I got into those and started just pouring product in, and it just went crazy. When you're starting to see $1,000 days in
Hmm.
your Amazon business, that gets very interesting very quickly. And you see, I literally only started getting serious about the Amazon selling in September. I
Okay.
got in the house and all that done, and had gotten myself to a place where I could start attending to it a little bit. And that's when I started doing the eBay sourcing and getting some money, using that and drop shipping on eBay, and using some of the DS domination techniques that they showed us and what Zach had learned. And I started rolling in my money in there. About September, was able to start building enough product to have a very favorable Christmas season. I don't remember exact figures on that, but probably, I probably hit the 5-figure income by the end of December. And that's taking it from really,
Okay.
literally ground zero. I didn't have $500 in savings in the bank to start my business with, literally starting it from $10 and $20 and $30, on the weekends, going and sourcing and that, and putting to eBay, and then doing a bunch of drop shipping, and
Okay.
learned some, lost some money on that, made some money on that. But see, I kept going, and a lot of people won't take that $100 or that $50 or whatever and do product because they're like, well, what if I lose my money?
Yeah.
Guess what? You might you might not make your money on that one, but on the next $100 deal, you might make 4 times that. And so it evens itself out if you just keep in the flow.
It's a
So
practice.
I had to gain in confidence, and really it was probably what was before the end of September, because Zach, I remember I jumped on, and Zach was on a webinar, and he said, listen, get all your product in before the end of September for the Christmas season, because you have the advantage on the other sellers. Lots of other sellers not going to get their stuff in till the end of October. You're going to have the advantage. Da da da. I pushed so hard. We got so much product in, as much as I could afford to do, and got it in, and that was priming the pump. And
Okay.
that is so important, is you got to prime the pump, and you literally got to keep pushing the product in. Don't buy 10 of something at Walmart and send it into FBA and then set on and sell. Okay, say, okay, when that sells, I
Right.
I will do something else. No, that's silly. I had a great friend who started the Five and Dime store in Branson, Missouri. Now it's a multi-million dollar business. It's the largest and most visited Five and Dime store in the United States. And his philosophy was, if there's a space, fill it. If there's time, buy it. And, it's all about the numbers. Get more product in because then you have more chances to make that sale and get that check every 2 weeks, that transfer from Amazon every 2 weeks, which I love Wednesdays. Love Wednesdays. And my favorite time of on Wednesday is right before noon because that's when my money transfers to Amazon. And it's just fun. And then you start kind of favoring products, and I started going, okay, well, I like that product and I like that, and you start favoring categories. So it was a little hard for me when Zach started introducing bedding and shoe lots and so on and so forth, because I was like, I'm over here in this category and I'm great, and I just don't want to do any more with that. I still work a full-time job, and so I'm like, you know, it just took me a while to go, wait a minute, are you kidding me? If you got a pump pumping this hose full over here, why don't you do the same over here in this category? I'm like, duh, are you kidding me? So yeah, now I sell in health and beauty.
Okay.
I'm sorry, health and personal care and beauty and the shoes, accessories, handbag category.
Yep.
Then let's see, of course, books, beauty.
Books.
Let's see, what's the other categories we can do?
We got a ton. We got toys. We got all kinds of stuff. But let me kind of ask about. I mean, you you skipped through a lot there, Gaye. I wish we had video of you.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, it's okay. You've just got so much to share with your story, and I want to make sure that there's wisdom in how you approach this. I mean, following Zach's leadership, I think one very key important part about your story, and this we can't skip over this, is you didn't reinvent the wheel. You found a mentor. You've been following Zach. I mean, I agree. Zach's it seems like everything he touches just it's just blessed. I mean, there's something about the guy. I think a part of it is his willingness to share, and obviously reap what you sow. And that guy sows more seeds than almost anybody that I know. Yep. But so you trusted Zach. I mean, you didn't complicate things too much. That's the first thing. Second thing is you rolled all your stuff. So you have a full-time job, and you've had a full-time job this whole time, right?
Absolutely, and that's real key for people to understand. Because it was difficult for me to understand. I thought I had to understand the whole everything before I could do anything. And that's what was preventing me, because I didn't have time to sit down and watch all of Zach's videos and webinars and all his DS Domination stuff. I just didn't have time to do that. And I still, to this day, feel like, my gosh, I need to sit down and watch such and so video and such and so video. I just don't have time at this point.
So you haven't sat through and watched all of Zach's boot camp videos? Okay, so what are the things? Now I got to ask you this, Gaye, because you went. I mean, I want to recap this because for people that are joining us too, you got started back in September. You said you ramped up really September, October, November, December. So your first 3.5 months, you had your first 5-figure month. And then you shared your stats with us from April, your 25K in sales, and obviously these are sales, so your net profits is, obviously a different number. But what did you do? Just walk me through the beginning stages. You said you didn't start with a lot of money, and you scaled from little money to 5 figures. How much money did you have, just if you don't mind sharing, when you first started? Did you have like some savings or something, or what did you start with?
No, and that's also important and what I feel like it makes my story, everybody's story, is that literally what I would do when I got my paycheck at the end of the week is I would take out 10 or 20, sometimes I could spare $30. And then on Saturdays, and this is the honest truth, this is what I would do. Then on Saturdays, I would hit the thrift stores and I would find little merchandise like, what I did was scanned eBay and started kind of looking and seeing what might sell, and then I'd go to thrift stores.
Okay.
And here's kind of I literally just fell onto this. I mean, just literally walked into the wall with this one. But I bought a cookbook. It sounds stupid, but I bought a cookbook, and it was an old one, but it was in pretty good shape, and I bought it for $2. I sold it on Amazon for 89 bucks.
You kidding me?
I'm not kidding you. And here's the other thing that will just blow your mind. When I listed it on Amazon, I just had that figure come in my head. 89 bucks. I just thought, I'm gonna sell it for 89 bucks.
You didn't look and see what the other sellers were selling for and try and be the lowest and everything?
I did, and this is a crazy thing. There were probably 6 or 7 different sellers, had the same book in varying conditions, and there was some crazy seller that had it up at like $500. And then there was a couple sellers, one had it for 15 and one had it for 20. You know, and I was just, I'm gonna ask 89 bucks. That just came in my head. It was just stupid. You know, I was like, okay, 89 bucks. Sold it, went back on Amazon and bought the other one for 15 and the other one for 20, went to eBay and bid on one for $12 and then started kind of feeding them in back into Amazon. You got to make sure make sure it's not already labeled as an Amazon product and send it back in, you know. But
yeah. So just on a side note, do you buy that from a different account and sell on a different account, or are you doing your buying and selling on the same account?
Well, I do my buying on one account. I have my personal account that I buy on, and then of course I have my seller.
Okay, just want to clear. So for you guys watching, especially members, that's a big tip. You want to do that. Don't be buying on the same account. You'll get in trouble for that. So have a separate account, separate email address that you do your buying for. Just a little side note. You threw that out there, Gaye. But okay, so you found you took action. Just, you know, and I think this isn't an accident. Like, you didn't stumble across this cookbook. You were taking action. I think this is kind of, you get rewarded.
And I was open to opportunity.
Yeah.
I was open to opportunity. I literally had 20 or 30 bucks in my billfold, and I roll it into that. Okay, I make those sales, and instead of running down and paying the water bill or whatever, which I could have, but you know, maybe somebody would argue I should have at some point. I do have water, by the way. I mean, we live in the Ozarks, but we're not all hillbillies.
Yeah, you're down in close to Springfield, Missouri, or where do you live?
Yeah, south of Springfield, Missouri, and Branson, Missouri.
In Branson, okay. So that's right. When we do our event this fall, we'll be in your backyard. So
literally. So yeah. So anyway, so then I took that money and just rolled. So I did those kind of eBay deals.
Okay.
Thrift store to eBay, and at the same time, then I found deals that I could drop ship on eBay.
Okay.
And I did drop shipping. And I found out with drop shipping that you got to kind of trust the product. You have to know the product a little bit and trust the product. Like, you know, I had a great deal on punching bags. What do they call those? You know, kick and boxing and exercise bags.
Yeah, like the big, like 3 foot, 4 foot tall.
Yeah. And I was getting them from Walmart and drop shipping from Walmart on eBay or Amazon, I mean, and selling great. But it turns out that Everlast, the company that makes those bags, weren't doing a very good job about making sure that all of the stuff they sold in the set was in the box.
Okay.
Getting some returns on that. But,
okay.
You know, if you sell 6 successfully and you get returns on 2, I'm still in the good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I'm still moving ahead. So don't let those little failures speak failure to you, because it's not. That's just that product or that company. And there are 300 million products selling on Amazon this second.
There's so much abundance. 300. There's so many products out there. Drives me nuts when people are like, yeah, they get the scarcity caught. It's all a mindset thing. I mean, that's what I'm hearing from your stories. You were looking for opportunities. So somebody in your situation, Gaye, and this was 7 months ago when you told me the story or whatever, you know, could have been like, woe is me. I just got paid. I only got, you know, a couple bucks in my pocket. You didn't think of that way. You chose, and this is a conscious choice. I mean, you chose to be open and looking for opportunities, stumbled across, and this is just one story. I'm sure you could tell me lots of stories, but so that's important, right? You got to, I mean, guys, there's no excuse for anybody watching this. And there's no excuse. Hopefully getting your squashing, we're killing some giants. We're slaying some giants today. But so what happened after, so you started thrift store to eBay, started small, started getting into drop shipping on eBay, and what happened next? When did you get into, had you done any FBA at this point, or still just kind of
at that point, I was also trying to do a little bit of retail arbitrage. So,
okay.
you know, with my eBay profits, then I was taking that and going into retail arbitrage. So I
Okay.
and look clearance sales and this and that, and you know, of course, I'm ramping up to Christmas, and so toys are big, and I understand toys. I raised 4 kids. I have grandkids, so you know, I feel like I know toys. And if I
Yeah.
didn't, you know, this is how crazy I was. If I didn't, you know, I'd be what there'd be a family or whatever in a toy line, and I would say, hey, your kid is about the, you know, such and so age. You know, it is does your kid think this product is cool? You know, and I would show them. I'd say, hey, and then one of them would go, no, that's not cool. And I'd be like, oh, okay, don't get that one. It's cheap, you know, don't get that one. And then guess what? I learned there were actual tools you could use, like the Amazon Seller app. I'm like, oh, hello. I popped on a webinar in time to hear Zach say that, and on Profit Bandit, another app, and I was like, oh wait, now I can, you know, use more than just some kid's opinion. But
Yeah.
actually, those kids, they had great eyes. They
Yeah.
were like, get this. Every kid wants this. I'd be like, oh, got as many as I could, sold them out. Anyway, so I did that in retail arbitrage too.
Okay. Toys on retail arb. Okay.
Right, and then in retail arbitrage too, beauty. You can find some stuff that some stores are just saying, you know, they're putting it on clearance because they don't want to use the shelf space for that. Doesn't have high enough content for them or whatever. And but it's good for us, and it and helps me get started. And so every evening I drive. Now listen to me. I drive an hour to work and an hour home. Okay, I drive for 2 hours
Cluster. I love this. I love it. Okay.
plus work a full-time job. And every evening, you know, I'd go home and do my evening, you know, meal, et cetera, and get the house in order, whatever, go straight to the basement. And I would spend about an hour to an hour and a half getting product ready and getting a shipment ready and getting it to Amazon. If it
Okay.
was if it was 15 items, I put 15 items in. If I only had 6, I put 6 in. If I had 30, I put 30 in. But I had shipments going every single day. And that is the kind of thing that I found out was really building my confidence, and
Yeah.
it was so encouraging to me because every day I was consistently sending something in. And so by reason of that, on the other end, you know, by getting that pipeline full, every day I'm making a sale. It might be a article of clothing this day, and it might be a beauty product that day. It might be a toy this day, and then a something that day. And then those single selling turned into multiples, you know. And so I set as my goal, you know, I this is so fun, Gabe, because I had an opportunity to buy a house the same time Zach's ramping up in Amazon. I'm like, Zach, I just can't because I got to get this house because it's a $160,000 house and I'm buying it for 85,000. And I'm
Okay.
going to do a little bit of work to it, but are you kidding me? You know, I'm middle aged and I'm going to get a house with this much value in it already. Are you kidding me? And so, you know, that's why I ignored him in the beginning, you know, and just, but by September, I started going. And then by after the Christmas season, I was like, whoa, I just realized something. This is the way I'm going to pay off my house. And I set that my goal is to pay off my house this year.
This year.
This year.
How much, just out of curiosity, how much is left? Well, not how much is left, but yeah, was that 80 grand or?
Yeah, the original loan was 85,000.
Okay.
Then I would say that right at this time, I have assets. I'm just going to in round figures. I have assets right now to do a third of that right now. All right.
That's
Now, if you think about this, can I reach that goal? I'm relatively sure that I can, because we've just finished the worst half of the Amazon selling season,
Yeah.
January through June. The worst half. I haven't even touched the best half.
Yeah.
But that's why I'm so excited about what's happening. You understand? Now it starts getting down to, wait a minute, this makes a difference. If I just continue to be persistent and consistent, I have a very reachable goal, a way to do it. I don't have to wait for the lottery. I don't have to wait for a publisher's clearinghouse. I don't have to wait for pie in the sky. I don't have to wait for, a bird to fly over and drop a suitcase on my head full of money. So many of us just think in those terms. Oh, if I ever get money, I'll pay off my house. Oh, if I ever get to that. But I actually have wheels under my dream, my goal, and a way to do it, and history that shows me I can. Because if I've done this much so far, I know what I can do
Right.
in the next 6 months.
Right. Well, there's obviously a confidence to this business and any business. I mean, you started small, you got results, you snowballed those. And what's important, what you just said, Gaye, is, and I'm taking notes on your, maybe I should have drawn your picture here so I could have had a video. Yeah, I've got 2 pages of notes.
eBay picture is on there. I have a real picture. I do not know why that eBay picture is.
Yeah, well, the technology, when you do this kind of stuff, you just got to kind of roll with it. But so you took, this is important though, you took daily action. There was no excuses. Okay. You could have said, I had an hour commute this morning, an hour commute back. I had to cook dinner. I'm tired. I don't even want to do that, but you didn't make those excuses. You take an hour and a half a day. So really that was how you run your business to get the shipments sent in. Were you doing all your sourcing, just out of curiosity, were you doing all your sourcing on Saturday and then you kind of list throughout the week? You just kind of chip away at it, or how are you doing that with the full-time job?
And actually my sourcing, I did a lot of my sourcing on the weekends.
On the weekends. Okay.
Basically what I would do is a lot of sourcing on Saturday, and then Sunday evening start doing, I take a Sabbath so I don't get burned out. And so then by Sunday evening, I would try to jump on with Zach a little bit, and or listen to a little bit of a webinar, or go on the Facebook and see what people are saying and learn from them. And then I would do some listing, and then throughout the week, I would do some listing and shipping, and it just builds from there. But every day I was doing something, because my goal is real and my method of achieving that goal is sound.
So, okay, so go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. I'm just saying it's working. And see, here's what clued me into this. It was that silly little cookbook. It was a $2 purchase, and I sold it for 89 bucks. Now that tells me something about Amazon buyers. Okay. Amazon buyers are not like you think they are. They're not necessarily the one looking for the lowest price. They're looking for convenience. They don't understand how the Amazon platform works. If you end up with a buy box on that product that day, just by the Amazon metrics, some random spaceship sort of method that nobody ever really knows or understands, but say you get the buy box, you know what? You got a sale. And if you got a sale, then you can take that money. I can take $87, less my Amazon fees, and roll that into product.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you for sharing that. I think that this is, for a person just starting off, you're like the ultimate excuse buster, Gaye. I had no idea this is where this was going to go. Full-time job, excuse, you busted through it. 2-hour commute, busted through it. Didn't have money to start, busted through that. Took massive action, and that's part of where your luck happens. What's the quote? The harder I work, the luckier I get. I think there's something. there's something in massive action. And I noticed this yesterday. I did an interview with Zach that we'll be publishing later, a part 2. We really dove into his Christmas season. He said the same thing. He's like, Gabe, a lot of this stuff, I'm looking back, I have to think about what happened. I just put my head down, took massive action, came up, and, here's these results. And so this, I mean, that's the sowing, put your head down, sow the seed, sow the seed, sow the seed, and the harvest comes, but it doesn't come overnight. And that's why I love those of you that are watching this live, I see the little viewer click live. And we'll do questions here in just a second on the Facebook post. So again, if you guys are in the group, feel free to like this post or comment on YouTube. We'll take the questions on Facebook. But there's something, you're in the right place at the right time. And Gaye just mentioned this, the worst half of the Amazon season just finished. Okay, we're entering third quarter for those of you watching the NBA Finals. And you know how important the fourth quarter is. That's where the game is won and lost. And I got to give a plug out to Steph Curry, right? Putting up 17 points in the fourth quarter. That's what happens on Amazon, and we get the benefit of that. I had to throw out an NBA reference. I should probably throw out a Blackhawks reference, since it's the official Blackhawks Day here in Chicago. The whole city's like, they got the parade going on and stuff. But yeah, you probably didn't know about that. I don't know if you're a hockey fan, but just having fun.
I'm a Chicago fan. No, I'm not a hockey fan at all. Hey, we live in the hills, dude. But we know our basketball. Anyway, no, that's exactly right. Take action.
So let me ask you, Gaye. We've talked about getting started. You rolled the momentum. You've done one fourth quarter selling season already. A light bulb went off. What advice would you give yourself a year ago with that first selling season, which is probably the same advice we would give to a brand new person, maybe who hasn't experienced their first Q4? What are some kind of key pointers you would give yourself?
Well, the mistake that I made on my fourth quarter, which was actually literally my first quarter of selling on Amazon through FBA, my mistake was I didn't trust the selling platform. There's some negative things that can happen on Amazon. People, can say, "Oh, don't do this," or Amazon did this to me, da 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 da. And don't let those things dissuade you from understanding that Amazon is a massive, massive selling platform. It's unreal. I didn't understand it, and I didn't understand the Amazon buyer. If I understood more clearly the Amazon buyer last fall, I would have tightened my belt so tight, and I would have dumped way more product into, your heart just sinks when you sent in 50 items of something, whatever it is, and in one day, 50 sell. And that tomorrow you could have sold another 50, but it's not there.
Yeah.
You didn't take a step there. And so, trust the selling platform, follow the rules that they set. If they set this guideline for shipping or this guideline, there's tons of Amazon 2-minute videos on how to do stuff on their platform. You don't need to get that information from me or Gabe or whoever. Don't wear out other sellers out for it, because it's not necessary. Because you can, in 2 minutes, learn whatever Amazon technique and trust the Amazon platform. That's just the thing. I should have done that.
Okay, so trust the platform, understand the velocity that the sales can happen. What can you do? What would you have told yourself to prepare? That was your first Amazon selling season, so obviously you got to know. There's a whole level of skills here that we're not talking about, which is knowing how to source the right product, and then how to analyze the products, and then how to source the right ones, because you don't want to get caught, going deep on an item you don't know that sells. And so you were kind of going wide in the beginning. It sounds like, learning about these different pockets. How did you know what inventory to stock up on, and what would you tell if you were giving yourself advice a year ago, what would you tell yourself to focus?
Well, number one, I would absolutely focus on the products that Zach presents, because he has a metric that he goes by to look at the product and understand the product. So when he's offering big product buys, 100% look those over. And if you think you can qualify, I mean, you've got that category approval or whatever, be serious about that. Gabe, the other category I didn't understand or didn't really delve into was this bedding. Bedding
Betting.
is huge, 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 huge. And see, bedding could have given me a much better January, February, March, because that's huge bedding season. People are using their Amazon gift cards to buy new comforters for their beds or sheets or company coming in or whatever. There's tons of money to be made in bedding, and I just tripped on that by accident because I bought a item on clearance and sold it out immediately in the drop shipping some items like that because I didn't have any more product to send in that category. But now David's here and we're going to get bedding. I would have explored that way earlier. That's a mistake I made.
Okay. So Zach's deals, I mean, yeah, obviously, and again, for you guys that are a part of the community, you already know this. If anyone's watching on YouTube, we source, Zach has an internal system of sourcing products, one of the perks of being a part of the community. So books, bedding, and shoes, which are the current three categories. So what, so you're saying Zach's deals, what else? I guess I got to ask you, Gabe, where do you source? You talked about some of the early sourcing strategies, Amazon, eBay, etc. Where are you sourcing a lot of your products from now? Are you still doing retail arb and some of those pieces, or how do you
do that? Absolutely. Every time I go to purchase something for my home, and that means groceries or cleaning supplies, or anytime I'm going to purchase something for my own use, I also retail arbitrage.
Okay.
What's happened to me, why I know I can hit those goals, those personal financial goals, is because every time, if I go in and at Walmart, for example, and I lay down, $50 for household stuff, I'll end up doing retail arbitrage and buy $50 or $100 or whatever worth of product that I know I can sell, and that $50 that came out of my pocket for my household expenses, I've made that back.
Made it back, yeah.
Basically, I live for free. I live for free now because I'm always making money. If I go to Staples for office supplies, I'm sourcing product. I go to Staples one day to buy copy paper. Or no, I go to Staples. Yeah, I went to Staples one day to buy copy paper because I had passed Walmart. I had forgotten to go into Walmart. And there's Staples. It's convenient. Dive in, grab some copy paper. On the front table, they have clearance, and there's these kind of leather look portfolios, and they're nice looking things. They'd marked them down to $3. They were like, I don't know, $12.99 or something like that, and they were like $24.99. They'd marked them down to $3. I bought all 7 or 10, however many they had. I bought them all.
Okay. Yeah. When you do the retail arb, are you using the Amazon Seller app or Profit Bandit or both?
I used Profit Bandit to start with, and for me, and I don't know if it's just my internet or what, but for me it was glitchy. It ended up being glitchy and aggravating sometimes. Yeah. And so I almost always use the Amazon Seller app. So I grabbed the product, I scanned the UPC code, up comes, there's only one other seller, and the product rating really wasn't that great. It was, almost always will buy if it's in the 10,000 or under. I mean, always buy. It wasn't really that great, but I liked the product. I thought I'll keep one for myself, sell the rest. Ended up a customer jumped on after the product went live, jumped on and bought all of them.
Okay.
one customer bought them all.
Okay.
Okay. And guess what I paid for my copy paper that day? I mean, who cares? Who cares? It's paid for. So that's the kind of thing I still do. Retail arbitrage is very much a part of what I do.
Okay. So that's helpful. Do you does the Amazon Seller app you're talking about, that's the free app that you can download, does that show rank? I don't do a ton of retail arb, so does that show you the rank of the product, or or is there another way that you find that?
Yeah, it shows rank, and you can even put in your sale price of your item, over your cost price and then your potential selling price, and it will tell you your potential profit. Profit Bandit does that too.
Okay.
Yeah, Amazon Search
Okay.
is great information.
So retail arb, and obviously your time is still limited. So you're still doing this because you're working full time towards this goal of getting a house, which I have no doubt you're going to create that goal. I think that's what's important about what you said that, Gaye. And here's what you can learn from Gaye's story if you're watching this: is one, know what you want. I mean, if you don't know where you're going, any road's going to get you there. So get clear on what you want. I mean, if it's a goal, whatever it is, and two, get clear on why you want it. Why is, like, Gaye could have said, I want 80 grand, and that's meaningless if there's not a purpose. So what is it now, just to help people understand, your why probably goes much deeper than the house. What is the feeling that you want from owning your house free and clear? What is the actual goal that you, like, why do you want to have a house free and clear, for example? What does that mean to you?
I'm a middle-aged woman, having a change of lifestyle or change of life. I mean, everything fell apart 3 years ago. 3.5, 4 years ago, I'm starting over. I know that there's money out there that gives me the experience and the opportunity. I walk around behind him and, sort of pick up the leftovers, so to speak, and it's fat, it's nice. And so I'm at this middle age, and I'm like, I want my house to be free and clear before I reach retirement. That's my goal. And
Okay.
and when the selling happened, when the Amazon selling happened, and it just went crazy, then I'm like, revise your goal. I think you can do it a lot earlier than that.
Yeah. So so I mean, you say you have about a third of this. Are you could pay part of the house off, and I'm guessing that's probably money you're going to snowball into inventory for fourth quarter. Is that you got it? Okay. So you're constantly reinvesting. This is another thing I've noticed from you, Gaye, and from Zach. I mean, I think this is probably a trait from Zach, but the money in motion. You keep money in motion, and I just took notes. Maybe we can put this like in first thing you did is pay yourself first too, which is a wealth building principle. I mean, this is ancient wisdom. Paying yourself. Robert Kiyosaki's been saying this, and people generations before him. Pay yourself first. Whatever income you have, make sure that first portion, give to God what's to God, and make sure you take a portion that you can invest and put to work. And no matter where you're at, I mean, that's what I'm hearing from your story, Gaye. There's no excuse. If you got $20 up your paycheck, put that in. If you got $100, you got $1,000. Get your money in motion. And get you in motion, and take those results. That creates confidence, which really is just all it is. I mean, as an entrepreneur, each one of them, and this is how you start it's like creating a fire. To make a fire in your life, right? A financial fire, you got to start in the dark, and you got to rub some sticks together, and you got to get some heat, some traction. And if you stopped at the very beginning when you started seeing the smoke, you would miss out on the raging fire that gets created at the end. That's the power of momentum. Okay, so for those of you that are, and again, if you're entrepreneurs, we'll probably do a separate training all on this, but momentum is where you want to get to. Any kind of business, there's always the couple stages, the startup phase where you're out there hustling, you're doing things, you don't know if it's going to work, you're out at Target scanning stuff, people are looking at you, all that good stuff, but you have to go through that. You have to show up and do the work. I'll never forget this. My high school basketball coach told me this. I forget when, but character is what you do when no one's looking.
That's right.
And I believe you've got to have that character. No boss was standing over you, Gaye, saying, get to work, go build this. You just had a vision, a dream, and you went out there and started the fire and had that character, which oozes through your story, your character. And I mean, Zach too, obviously. There's just some great people of integrity that are surrounded in our community, which is why I love our group. This is a special group of people. But you did the work. You did the work when no one was looking, and that leads you into a momentum stage. Now you're coming around fourth quarter for the second time with wisdom, experience, momentum. What kind of stuff are you going to do differently this time around, Gaye? Second, fourth quarter.
Well, I mean, easily way more product. You're going to prime the pump. I look back now and I think, okay, let's just boil it down to something really basic. Family might drop $30 on pizza. That's $30 worth of product that could have potentially earned them $120. put yourself in this position. Would you like to give a business, somebody else, $30, or would you like somebody to give you $120? You know, for me, because I'm highly motivated at my age, it was an easy decision. And now I even look back on the last six, you know, well, I'm looking back on my the fourth quarter selling season, and thinking of all the money I could have got more money in there. I could have got more product in there.
Okay.
I just didn't understand the selling platform. I didn't understand those buyers. I didn't understand that Amazon buyers love to buy. They love to order stuff. They love to get stuff. And
They do.
they're not necessarily looking for the cheapest price. So you buy something to read the arbitrage right now, the toys are all over the place. Clearance toys everywhere. Toy for $5, and you say, well, there's 40 FBA, or there's 40 sellers on there right now, and 10 of them are FBA sellers, and the price is not really great. Look at the product history, and you know what? If it's Spider-Man or those kinds of things that are always eternal sort of sellers, don't be afraid of it. Grab it, sit on it for a while, and don't worry about selling it right this minute. You got a $5 product could make you $19.95.
Yeah.
Don't sell it for $6 tomorrow on Amazon just because you think you got to sell something.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't worry about that. Because we're building toward that fourth quarter. Every retailer, no matter what retailer, every retailer on the planet builds to the fourth quarter.
Okay.
Western tourism and branching, and they build toward the third quarter, because that's
yeah. Okay. I just got pinged here, Gaye. We had some audio feedback. If you guys are catching audio feedback, not for sure what that is. We'll keep going. But if you guys have some questions for Gaye, I've kind of I've been sincerely curious in your story, Gaye, and I appreciate you sharing. There's a lot of wisdom. You're actually challenging me to. There's money in our budget that I'm not putting in motion, and so you're challenging me to squeeze the end of the toothpaste a little tighter to get prepared. But if you guys have questions for Gaye, just post them in the group on the event page. That's what I've got pulled up here. I know that you probably got some questions on YouTube. Just to keep it simple on the event post page, I saw Eric Walker, he posted about the feedback. So let us know if you guys can still hear Gaye and myself. And I'm going to just ask you a couple more questions, Gaye, if you don't mind, until maybe the top of the hour. So when you say ramp up for other products, you're doing the retail arb. Are there other secret sources? I mean, you're buying some of Zach's products. Are there other sources you're getting stuff from, like suppliers or anything? Or are you really just doing retail arb and then going into Zach's deals?
Well, I tell you what's kind of fun. One of the techniques I use, that eBay sources that he uses. And that can be kind of annoying, because you can go through a million products and, before you find an opportunity. But on the other hand, timing. I don't know why I'm getting feedback here, Dave. I'm sorry.
Yeah, just something with your mic, they said. So just
Change there.
Be close to the mic, and who knows what's technology is technology. But yeah, Eric says my mic's coming in at something with yours. Who knows what it is, but
so basically, I do eBay sourcing.
Okay.
And
eBay sourcing. And
sometimes I just go on. I go on LinkedIn. Use sources from LinkedIn.
LinkedIn sourcing. Okay.
Here's what I always do. If it's a new source, I'll buy a little something from them. Just buy a little something from them, and I'll see that they might have a wholesale lot, but I'll just buy a little from them, a little handful from them, and see how they present that. See how the product shows up. See if I like how they've done, what they've done, and then jump right on there and say, hey, listen, let's have a mutually beneficial relationship. I'm interested in this much product. Can we talk?
Okay.
So it goes very fast from there, but I always test it. Zach taught me that. Always test it. Always test it. Get a little bit from that supplier, just see how they handle it. There's been some I just literally just Google merchandise liquidators.
Okay.
And people will come up, be people that will throw up a website because they somehow got a hold of a semi-truckload of whatever.
Yeah.
And you know what? That's good product. You got to source it, look at it. You got to see how they present themselves, and
Okay.
how they handle you, how they handle the business. But no reason why you can't be advantaging yourself of that opportunity.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So three things you just mentioned, which this is, and I still hear a little bit of, it sounds like your microphone's like rubbing on your shirt or something a little bit, but three sources you just said, Gaye, and in case anyone heard feedback, I'll repeat them so you guys can get them. This is, I feel like the legacy of Zach's, I feel like I'm talking to, I've heard this a million times from Zach. eBay sourcing, which I know Zach does a lot of too. You got to kind of weed through the listings. You can look for bulk and surplus stuff. LinkedIn sourcing, so looking for suppliers on LinkedIn. There's groups you can join. Lot of junk products, and again, with everything, I don't know how your experience is, Gaye. I probably turn down 80 to 90% of the deals that I see. So a lot of that stuff you got to really weed through, to find the gold stuff. But then 3 is Google. Google merchandise, liquidators, wholesale for your category. What are your favorite categories now, Gaye? What kind of stuff are you ramping up in for fourth quarter?
Well, of course, we're going to do toys, and we're going to do bedding. We're going to do beauty, books. Books is how I got started, really. And so we stay in there with books because we have a good source to get books in there, and and just put that in. Clothing. We're going to ramp up with clothing because there's tons of money in clothing.
Yeah.
And you can get some wholesale pallets, that you end up getting, an article of clothing in that pallet will be, you buy it for $1.80 and be able to sell it for $29.99.
Yeah.
And get a whole pallet of them. That takes time to go through, but you just set yourself to do consistent and persistent. And before you know it, you work through a pallet of product. And you've got lots out there that's selling. So we're going to ramp that up. And the other thing that we're looking at right now, and this is the goal all along, I think, for myself, was to be able to go into private label, health, and personal care.
Okay.
Because I have some items that I'm favorable toward, and I've got a resource real close to us that can private label for us. And so I'm really building toward that because I want to eventually be in control of my own product from start to finish.
Okay.
That's really where the long-term money is, and that's really where the power to control your quality, your quantity, every aspect of your business. In the beginning when you start, like if you do drop shipping and things like that, there's things that's out of your control.
Yeah.
You just hoping for the best, and sometimes it's going to work out, sometimes it may not work out. A lot of times it'll work out, but sometimes it may not work out. And with private label, that's really big for me because I get to control every aspect of it. The more control you as a business owner have in your own business, the more profitability you have, and the less chance you have of hitting the rocks on something.
Yeah. Okay. So
Okay.
So you just listed, all the categories: toys, bedding, beauty, books, clothing is a new one for you, and then the last thing you just mentioned was the private label. Which I noticed we've talked for an hour, and this is the last thing we've talked about. Which really, and Zach and I talked about this on yesterday. Private label, we all have our opinions on it. Zach's made most of his money. I think when I interviewed him yesterday, I think it was. I think he only made like 9 or 10 grand last year on private label. The other, 95% of his income came from bulk. Same as you too. So you've waited, but there is long-term value. I see that too in private label, but it's a whole nother animal. So, if you're watching this and you're a brand new seller, follow Gaye's lead, follow Zach's lead, follow my lead, start with the bulk, start with the online arbitrage, get good at that game. There's so much money in just reselling. And it's a great way to, it's very difficult to get started with private label, but cool, Gaye. Well, I had a couple, we had a couple people comment in the group. Brenda Snyder says, please tell Gaye, thank you for sharing her experience and being such an inspiration. So I know you've talked with Brenda back and forth quite a bit, but she says thank you, and on behalf of, she's probably speaking what the whole group's thinking right now. So thank you for sharing your wisdom with us today.
That's awesome. And Brenda, by the way, is excellent at private label. She knows private label.
We might have to, maybe we'll have her up next then on one of these next partner interviews to talk about that. But one question Gil had from inside the group, he says, do you do any online arbitrage? And we've talked about a lot of other sourcing strategies. Some of these were actually new for me today. Do you do any online arbitrage?
Yeah, I do. And I noticed some of Zach's postings lately that some of the stores, online retailers are kind of cracking down on some of that kind of thing. But yeah, we get product all the time. I get product all the time from doing online arbitrage, and it's a great thing that you can do in a little bit of downtime, that kind of thing. You can dink around with stuff like that where you're sitting in front of the TV.
Yeah.
God forbid you should not be sitting in front of the TV at night. Just think, why just want to chill out, grab your phone or your laptop or whatever and check out Target's sales site, or some of these are cracking down on you, but check out some of those online sites, and yeah, definitely.
Okay, I figured you were going to say that, Gaye. The answer that I probably could have spoke for you is you say yes and both.
Yes.
I've noticed you have, and again, this is a testament, Gaye, to your mindset, and this, the gifting you've given in that. You choose both. Yes, I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to source product and make money. I've only got $20 when I start, and I'm going to go source and find a cookbook, and I made money. And right. You probably don't have the money that you want to purchase all the inventory for fourth quarter, but you're resourceful, and that's a skill of being an entrepreneur. You got to choose both, and that took me a long time. That's a lesson I learned recently. It's all just it's whatever story you tell yourself. A lot of people, and I've noticed this I've been doing interviews. Before I started working with Zach and Amazon, I did a podcast and interviewed all kinds of successful people. And I noticed that the wealthiest people, they never say, I can't afford it. They never say, I can't. If you ask a wealthy billionaire to go buy this, they never have, and this is what people don't understand, like a Donald Trump or these big names, they don't have like billions of dollars in the bank. They say, instead of saying, I can't buy that skyscraper, they say, how can I create this? How can I afford this? And then they go find the money. They're resourceful. So I've noticed that skill from billionaires. They go find money, to people that are just starting off. They go find $100, and they're open to but you got to be open to the possibility first. This is, you said at the beginning, you went out that day with the cookbook, just open to possibilities. And goodness sakes, with the deals that Zach spoon feeds us in the group, there's no excuse. I mean, that's just, and I don't know, just out of curiosity.
I right arm to have that in the beginning. Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh!
Pumping in right now. But you see Dawson's postings on 20 deals a day type of stuff. Are you?
Yeah.
It's a cakewalk on that. Start with that. If you don't do anything else, start with that.
Yeah. So, and this probably doesn't make sense though. Like I said, today's what is a little unique. We got people that are in the group and out. We've got a couple different groups inside the group. One is an online arbitrage system we've set up. Dawson posts up to 20 deals a day. These are all online arbitrage deals that we all have access to. Gaye, myself, all members of the community. You can use that. Gaye, as we wrap up, I'm just going to check in the group and see if there's any last comments, any final. Let's see here. Actually, there was a question here. If you guys have any last questions, I know we're at the top of the hour. We're pretty much going to wrap up here. If you guys have questions, go ahead and post them on that event thread. Cindy has a question for you, Gaye. She says, Cindy Arsenault, she says, did Gaye use the DS Domination training in addition to Zach's training to get started? If so, which courses were the most helpful? Pro, Elite, Monopoly? This is a blast from the past question.
Good question. And actually, I have not been through all of DS Domination's training. I started with a couple of their training videos and just got the basics, and just, I ran out of time. Actually, I bought all the products, and to this day, I haven't been through all of the videos. Sad to say, I should. I'd probably be doing way, way better.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't wait until I got all my training before I started doing something. And what I did is I let a friend of mine get on my DS Domination account and use one of the, see, a Monopoly, I think it was, and go through Monopoly. And she took notes. She went through all the training. She took notes. She didn't have to buy the product. She took notes. She got the benefit from the training. She took notes, and then she shared her notes with me, and I just used the notes. I didn't even have time to go through the videos. So, yeah, literally, I have not been through all the DS Domination training. Definitely some of the basics, getting me started, are there in retail arbitrage and in drop shipping. There's some very valuable stuff there. It helped me. But more than anything, what helped me was just watching Zach's beginnings and just starting stumbling, just taking it in.
Yeah, I've got, well, there you have it. And not surprising, Gaye doesn't watch all the videos. The word is out, Gaye. She doesn't watch all the videos. She takes action. And so we should probably even challenge that. You guys have been out with us for an hour. This is probably an hour. I mean, hopefully you're inspired. So maybe spend the next hour of your life tonight or right after this webinar, go take action. But yeah, she hasn't watched all the videos, guys. DS Domination, I think I'll give my personal 2 cents on it. I think I've been in it. I transitioned into that as well before getting into FBA. That's what actually turned me on to FBA after seeing Zach's success as well. I've been through all their products. I bought everything through Genesis, which is their $1,000 course on FBA. Actually, I bought everything but Monopoly, which I've heard mixed reviews about that. But so bought all the way through their FBA course, and Zach and I, we love the training. I think it's great for getting some of the earlier, the basic products for drop shipping. But personally, drop shipping takes a lot of time, and there's a lot of other risk associated with it. So I very quickly stopped doing that. But we felt there was some gaps in the FBA training, which was the inspiration for Zach to start creating the training and what we've got in the group. So I think someone commented on this on the boot camp group the other day. Don't feel like you're missing anything. Zach and I both, we have access to Monopoly, and the training that we give you is we believe is the best that we have out there. But that's my 2 cents. Obviously, I'm a little biased. But if you guys have any, we do have another question here, Gaye. It came from Eric Walker. He said, regarding private label, did you find an existing item that had great rank, source it on Alibaba, then have the manufacturer tweak it, make it better, and then have it relabeled with your own private label? It's a loaded question, but have you started the private label, or is that just a new project, Gaye, that you're working on?
I have 3 private label products right now, but I just took over those private label products from somebody else. And but the private label health products that I'm interested in, we haven't launched that yet.
Okay.
I've done a lot of research on the general category, on that particular history of that particular product. For me, if I'm going to do something private label, I really feel like, for me, I need to morally feel like it's good for me. And so that's, and then I need to have my money ready to put into that. And
Okay.
so I'm not ready for that particular stage. I've got the 3 private label products now that we're doing, and we're doing fine with those. We enjoy those products. As far as Alibaba, I know that Andy Slayman's does that, and he's fantastic at it. And I've learned a lot from researching Alibaba and looking at that, but I haven't taken that plunge myself.
Okay.
I will, because I want to control my products from beginning to end, but I'm not there.
Yeah. Next chapter. Okay. Well, perfect. So the 3 private label products that you guys do have now, are those all sourced here in the U.S.?
Yes, and they're all natural, organic, and manufactured here in the United States, and I control it from beginning to end. I like that.
Manufactured in the good old US of A. Love it. So cool. Well, guys, hopefully you've got, I've got, 2.5 pages of notes here. So Gaye, I really appreciate your time and being willing to open up and just share your wisdom with us. There's a lot we can all learn from your story, and taking action, taking small action, and snowballing that into momentum. So thank you, Gaye, for being an inspiration for us. We've covered a lot of ground. We've covered.
Gabe, and I appreciate that. Let me just make one disclaimer before you sign off. That profile picture you're supposed to be seeing of me that somehow says eBay doesn't reflect in any way, shape, or form that I prefer eBay as a selling platform over Amazon. Do not. Amazon FBA is where I'm really can make the money, and you know, eBay was just a means to an end.
eBay was, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a technical expert.
Well, I mean, that's the beautiful part. You don't have to be a wizard, internet marketing guru, you know, PHP programmer to make money in FBA. We're hopefully between me, Zach, and Gaye, and some people in the group, we've even today with our technology, don't have to get it right. Just got to get going. So
get going.
We chose to have some fun today, even with our technology glitches. So thank you guys for watching live. I know we had a bunch of you that are still on, actually the majority of you that were on from the beginning on YouTube. If you guys have comments and questions after this broadcast, feel free to put your comments below on this video. And this is a temporary blog channel. We're going to be moving all of our FBA videos over to a new channel here shortly. But for now, we're just keeping things simple. So I'll be popping on here to answer questions. And just in respect out of Gaye, and we had Zach posted this in the group, I think this morning. Please just respect Gaye's time. Obviously, she's building this business just like you are. We've had some issues recently with successful members in our group, and we knew this would happen with the leaderboard. But we're sharing the success, and you guys are blowing up chats and things like that. So please don't blow up Gaye's chat on Facebook. Respect her privacy and her time. She was generous enough to share her wisdom with us today, and we want to respect her space too. So I'll throw that out there. You guys know the etiquette in the group. Let me just see, Gaye, if we have any final questions here. I had to mention that since that was relevant. Cindy Arsenault just commented and said, great training today. Thanks a million, Gaye and Gabe. So you're very welcome, Cindy, and all you guys in the group. We're glad to share this with you. So Gaye, thank you very much. We had technology problems and all. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you in the group, guys. If you guys aren't a part of the group and you want to learn about that, there's a link below this video as well and on the channel as well. So check that out. Awesome. Have a great day, guys. We'll catch you later.